have such sights to show you.
It's gotta run its course. Now it begins. It begins.
The 80s were such a rich decade for horror that you got the weirdest ideas coming out of just the most unlikely creative minds. And yet somehow some of them actually worked. Today we're going to be talking about 1988's Pumpkinhead, and to help me talk about that is my discussing DreamWorks / Boom Bayhem partner in crime, Jacob Martin. Jacob, how are you?
I am doing well, Ryan. Thank you for having me on for the Scarymania series.
Oh yeah, it's all like I always have to bring you on for these, like every single year. And so when you chose Pumpkinhead, I was pleasantly surprised because I'm like, yeah, that's an interesting one. I went into this knowing nothing other than the fact of who directed it and a little bit about the premise. It turned out to be a rather interesting movie, but a really good movie all the same.
Yeah, like I didn't know nothing about this either. When you suggested some of the movies, I think some of the other ones picked some of the ones I was more interested in watching. I think they were already taken, but
Yeah.
and then I saw the title Pumpkinhead. I'm like, I don't know this movie. I just chose it from the title. And then I did some more digging on it and I saw Stan Winston, the visual effects guy, the guy that worked on like Terminator and Aliens and Jurassic Park. That's Stan Winston. I did not know he directed a movie, and I was pleasantly surprised by this one.
Sadly, not many people do. This one kind of fell under the cracks. We'll get into that in a second. But he only has 3 directorial credits to his name. This, a short film called Ghosts, which was basically a Michael Jackson music video, and then another 84-minute movie called A Gnome Named Norm, which the reactions on Letterboxd are wild to that one, and it has Anthony Michael Hall in it. That might be for a Scarymania down the road, but basically, yeah, like Jacob was saying, Stan Winston, legend in the effects industry. He is sadly no longer with us. Rest in peace. Worked on Terminator, Batman Returns, did the effects for Jurassic Park, one of my all-time favorites, Galaxy Quest. One of his last credits was he worked on the suit for a little movie called Iron Man. That was one of his last big things before he passed away. So truly, we lost a great creative mind in that one. But the movie starred Lance Henriksen. It tells the story of him and his young son who live out in the middle of nowhere. The son is killed in a careless accident involving some teens and some dirt bikes. Out of grief, he goes to find a local witch who is like, please bring my son back. And is like, yeah, I can't do that, but I'll give you one better. I'll give you something to kill those pesky kids. The Pumpkinhead spirit. And, well, it's not a good day for those kids. I'll just leave it at that. Because Stan Winston is known for his creature effects, there is a big old creature in this one, and this creature is genuinely pretty terrifying. Like, just from the looks of him, just his design, it's pretty unnerving to look at.
Yeah, I mean, when you got Stan Winston, not only a visual tech genius who can craft some amazing practical effects, and this is the same guy that did some really impressive stop motion work in the original Terminator. Yeah, it's not the fact that, not to mention he's also directing this movie as well. It's like, yeah, this movie is in good hands on a visual level. Like, you don't see the Pumpkinhead all that much. Most of the time, the creature is either in the background or in the shadows. But when you do get some shots of the Pumpkinhead, it is really unnerving. I think the best way to describe the design of the Pumpkinhead, it's like a grosser version of the xenomorphs in Aliens. And I think it was a really cool design.
You know, I was watching a review of this movie and from Cody Leach, and Cody Leach said that it kind of looked very similar to the xenomorph. But I mean, my school of thought is, I mean, Stan Winston kind of created both. So if you're going to copy your own notes, you might as well copy one of the scariest horror movie villains of all time. So there that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you got another Aliens connection, as the main star is Lance Henriksen, and he is genuinely like really good in this. Like earlier this month, I covered a movie called Near Dark where he was the villain, and he was really good there. But here, he's just a dude. He's a guy. He's a farmer. Like he's a widow. He has his son, and he just wants to be left alone. Well, he's not left alone for long, and in desperation, he goes to this witch and is like, just I need something, like anything, to take these kids out. And it's rather sad to see. But I won't give too much away plot wise, but let's just say when he unleashes the Pumpkinhead, well, the Pumpkinhead and him kind of become one without giving away too much. I hope I probably did, knowing me.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know much of the story going in. And to me, this is a movie of two halves. The first half is your kind of family drama. You got this sweet little father son story, and then the tragedy strikes, and you have the desperation of the father. You got some great acting from Lance Hendrickson there, which I'm not as well versed in him as an actor. I know he was Bishop in Aliens, and he's pretty good there. But he actually has some pretty good acting chops in this movie on more of a dramatic level, which I do appreciate. And then you have the second half, which is all the horror stuff, where you got the witch and you got the seeking the vengeance, and then I guess the high cost that comes from that. It's like he thought he knew what he wanted, and then it turns out to be something more than he bargained for, as Ryan, you already alluded to. Um, some of the directions they go in the last half of the movie is wild, especially that connection between the main guy and the Pumpkinhead. There was just some effects and how gnarly it could get. I was like, oh, okay, we're really going there. It's like some parts of this feels like a David Cronenberg movie at times.
Almost, yeah. This is one I would firmly put into the you reap what you sow genre of horror, where it's like someone's like, I'm going to unleash this because I have nowhere else to turn. But in reality, it's like what you unleashed is just as bad, if not worse, than what your current situation was. I'll throw the original Candyman in that particular group as well.
Yeah, it's like even like the people that were involved in the tragedy, like it was stated time and time again, it was just an accident. Most of the people I don't feel like deserved what happened to him. You could argue the one guy because he was a careless jerk and he was it was already mentioned that he was already on probation and that having this death brought into it would just make the situation worse. And he was also pretty abusive towards some of the other people in the group. Like him, I guess you could argue whether his death was deserved or not. But most of the people that were in the group were just bystanders. They were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And so seeing some of the kills happen in this movie, like a lot of times you watch the horror movies and you don't really care about these characters. They're kind of more like cannon fodder for the slaughter. And in this movie, it's like I kind of feel bad for some of these characters in this movie because they're just kind of there at the wrong place at the wrong time, and uh, they were just given a bad deal because of the situation.
Yeah, there's a girl among the group that I felt the most sorry for because it clearly she was just a bystander in all this. And you're to your point, the one guy who was on probation, he's clearly the worst of them all. But the fact that the Pumpkinhead was so brutal towards him, I'm like, yeah, I mean, surely we could have talked this out, right? It's a situation that just got like way out of proportion. And some of the kills in this are just gnarly too. The worst one for me is when the Pumpkinhead stabs one of them with a shotgun, not shoots him with a shotgun, but stabs him with a shotgun and just like raises him up and like goes down the gun. That is nuts. Like I remember that being like, oh wow, like it's bad enough, like not even like shooting the gun. No, it's like see this is going to be in you in like a millisecond. Like that's just nuts right there.
Yeah, that one was probably the craziest one. There was another one where the Pumpkinhead takes one of the female characters, goes up, climbs up to the top of a tree, and she's like screaming for her life, and the Pumpkinhead just like, just drops her. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, there's no way you're gonna survive that fall.
no way. I mean, there's just like this spirit. It's a literal spirit of vengeance. Is like as soon as you unleash it, it's kind of like the Terminator in that it will not stop until you are dead. That's pretty much its only mission.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And then even when people try to interfere and stop the Pumpkinhead, and you think you can kill it, but
No.
nope, you can't really do that. It's summoned for the vengeance, and it will never stop.
Yeah. Like I said, the effects in this are really great with the Pumpkinhead itself, but I love the look of the witch. Like the witch looks genuinely like unnerving. Like it kind of looks like something you see in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie if you think about it.
Yeah, yeah, they got her looking like this old lady who's seen a lot of stuff, and with the wrinkles on her, she probably looks like she's 200 years old, maybe older.
Confirmed. Yeah.
I mean, and then just the way she talks was just very unnerving.
Hmm. Yeah, and what's interesting is that this never got a sequel or remake or anything of the sort. It just kind of exists. There are a couple of TV or no wait, actually let me back it up. This movie did end up getting a couple of TV movie sequels, but nothing to elicit really anything beyond just like that was a thing that existed. Just officially it got a Pumpkinhead 2 and then one called Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes and then Pumpkinhead Blood Feud, which those latter two were straight to DVD, which I'm sure just upped the quality tremendously. I'm being sarcastic, of course. The point I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at is that this movie definitely deserves a remake of some kind because I feel like you could do so much with something like this.
Yeah, you could probably do something. It'd be really hard because Stan Winston did a great job on this movie, and there were some really cool practical effects in this movie. I don't think some like even with the CGI advancements today, I don't think it would look near as creative as the original movie. So I think you have to watch to see how to do it delicately without disrespecting the original creative's work.
Yeah, that's always it's always something you need to consider. But like I said, to kind of put a period at the end of it, this is mad underrated. I feel like in a decade that was just full of just great horror, both like up and down, I feel like this one rather unfairly just kind of got shunted. It's a
Yeah,
it's a it's a shame, but sadly it is what it is. All I'll say one more time is that it deserves a remake or at least some kind of a legacy, not a legacy sequel, but like some kind of a continuation. And I'll just leave it at that.
yeah, I mean the '80s have had their fair share of well-known horror movies. I mean, you got your Freddys and you got your Jasons, and Michael Myers was still pretty big in the '80s as well. But Pumpkinhead just has a great story along with the stuff you want in a horror movie. And to me, those are better than your generic slashers because the forefront of the movie is a desperate father willing to do anything for his son, even if it takes him in the darkest of places. You're
Yeah.
not going to see that in a Friday the 13th movie.
No, like by this point in the 80s, the Friday the 13th movies had just basically been, oh, here's Jason stalking stock teenager number 5 slash. Like that's, and I'm not trying to be mean. I like some of the later sequels, but they did get ridiculous by like part 7, where like one of the girls had like psychic powers, but that's a story for another time. But I pass it off to all of you. What did you think of Pumpkinhead? Let us know in the comments. We would love to read what you have to say. And Jacob, thank you so much as always for being on. I do truly appreciate it. I'm doing Discussing DreamWorks with you every month. I forget what we're doing this month. If you can help me out.
Abominable.
That's right. Yeah, I do need to watch that very soon. But we're also doing Boom Bayhem, which we're doing Bad Boys 2 for that one. I cannot wait to see your reaction to that, and I'll just leave it at that. But tell the people where they can find you and what do you have coming up.
They can find me over on my YouTube channel. I primarily do movie reviews and also music discussions as well. Ryan's on my channel, and we'll discuss some Leonard Skinner. That's what we're doing right now. And I'm continuing on reviewing Elton John albums as well, along with Black Sabbath and Taylor Swift. On the movie side, I got discussing DreamWorks. I started a series recently with Henry Mockingbird, exploring the Ray Harryhausen movies. And then Brian also mentioned we're doing the Michael Bay films. The project's called Boom Bayhem. And I also still have Celebrating Disney on my channel as well.
All the links will be down below. Go give him a subscribe over there. Like I said, I'll be doing Abominable with him very soon, and I'm looking forward to that. But as far as this channel goes, Scarymania 6 rolls on. We're in the home stretch, folks, and we're going to be continuing on by taking a look at a truly disturbing one, and, well, it'll make you second guess ever looking at a slug ever again. We're taking a look at slugs. See you tomorrow.